Welcome back to Backroom Convos. I'm your host, Lesotho and Daddy Wadipod, aka Shoot Your Shot, and maybe you might get a chance to call me Daddy like Cairo. Listen, if you're a fan of pod, stay tuned because you might like what we're cooking. On today's episode, we have a lot to talk about. Momo's album is out. I've given it a listen, yes, for sure. Song of the Days When I Die, which was released 2022 by Murumba Peach. It was featured on the album called Harama, which the word means to develop, to prosper, and to achieve. If I'm not mistaken, there. So it currently sits at 5 million, not a 5 million on Spotify. Yeah, I want us to talk a bit about the Momo album. I'm sorry, I didn't give light to the song of the day, but I was listening to it. It's a dope song, even. I was listening to Momo's album, Filawet. I was listening to Momo's album. I didn't listen to the entire album, it's a 27-track album, a masterpiece. And I, in my opinion, think that is a classic album. I think Momo's music, in my opinion, is timeless, man. In my opinion, I think Momo's music is timeless, man. I listened to track one, which is Kurhula. For people who don't know, Kurhula means peace. Utula, Khozo, in Tswana, Utula in Zulu, and all the Guni languages. I think it's the same. It's a nice album, and I love what he did. I don't know if I love it or I was like surprised, or I was like, maybe it's a balance, or maybe it's just me trying to be smart with this. But I think the album, Momo's album, Kurhula, I think it brings a different element. Everybody, it's December, we're expecting all these high tempo songs. We are thinking more of mini type of vibe. I was expecting more of that. And for sure he did release some of the material. I had some of the material he released, which is like December type vibe songs. But the album, I'm like, the album is the balance to the madness. In my opinion, a masterpiece. Didn't listen to it all. I was like, this really makes sense. It wouldn't really make sense for me to listen to someone or to music that everybody is doing. That would never make you special. So Momo is different in that sense. And I'm like, he's making all, in my opinion, hits that are timeless. He makes timeless music, and I'm a big Momo fan now. I don't know why, but I've never been. I was like, who's this Momo? When private school piano came out, I was like, who's this Momo guy? And private school introduced me to that, and I was like, oh, I actually love Momo. And I was not the only one. And the third time that I went out to Zone 6 in is it Dobsonville? No, it's not Dobsonville. It's Deep Kloof. Zone 6 Deep Kloof. I was there last year. They were rocking Momo. Momo was actually there. When I was entering in the entrance, Momo was sitting behind the person who was taking the tickets when we were going inside the venue. Momo was still outside. He played, and her girlfriend Babalwa also played after him. They shared it, and I think someone poured Momo with a drink, and Momo stopped playing, and Babalwa carried on with the set. Momo set, he carried on playing. Very humble individual. I think it makes sense, man. It makes sense. The album makes sense from that standpoint. It's a balance to the madness, man. He's not doing what everybody is doing with their music, or trying to make, the December song, the December vibe. He's not doing that. He's doing more, of which I think it's very important to do yourself, to bring yourself to the table and everything that you do. Very excited. I saw a lot of people in my status, in my Instagram, I think, is it TikTok as well? Yeah, it's even TikTok as well. So people were posting tracks such as Utand, which is track 2. I'm so sorry for that. Track 2, which featured Usjava. Track 2 and track 3. Track 3, what? I don't know what's track 3. Track 3, I think it's Iqiniso, if I'm not mistaken. Iqiniso, yes, I think it's track 3, Iqiniso by him. Let me just double check for you so I can be sure. But I think track 3, it's Iqiniso. I'm not sure. Oh, Wansia, it's track 3. I should have written it down. I don't know why I didn't do that earlier. But Iqiniso, people were posting those songs. I was like, one of my friends by the name of Kelvin, one of my friends growing, like, childhood friends, Kelvin, he was posting one CD. I was like, oh, this album is dope. Then, someone, Slender or Jovis from Inappropriate Land, was also posting a sampled version of some song, but it's not on the album because I kept scrolling thinking, I'll get that song. I didn't get it. I was like, maybe it's one of the lead singles of the album, and shout out to people. And I don't know if it's strategic, it's a strategy from Momo, or it's a genuine action to place all new artists in the album. There's a lot, like I think majority of the song, besides the song Amalobola, Iqiniso, Nohlokomela, those 3 songs, which Nohlokomela featured Sticks, obviously Kelvin, Momo, and J6, which has Sticks, the artist that's unknown, Iqiniso, and Amalobola, which featured Nia Pale and then Babal on those songs. Those are the 3 songs where, like, we know J6 is there, who is not a new artist. Nia Pale is not a new artist. He's been featured before on Momo's album or music. Babal, the girlfriend or the artist, is also featured there. Not a new artist or a new feature for Momo. They've worked together before, so they made it. Momo made it, and I like he introduced a lot of people. And from where I sit, sometimes I feel like what Momo brings to the table, I don't know. Looking at the playlist of all 7 tracks, I'm like, shout out to Sticks, by the way. Sticks is like the most featured in the album, by the way. He's the most featured. He's in majority of those songs. Sticks is in those songs. I don't even know who Sticks is. I haven't looked him up. I'm sure I'll look him up and I'll enjoy some of the stuff that he do, and like follow him rather, and tell you as to who is Sticks. He is featured, the most featured artist in that album. From Kurhula all the way to Eastern South 2.0, which is the last track of the 27-track LP of Momo Kurhula, which means peace. He's the most featured. And shout out to him for putting up putting on all the artists. And obviously, a person like Java is also featured. I don't know, I'm not sure about the track Ever Java Utando, which is also on the album. I don't know about that, but I'm like, maybe if I give it time. It's still new. I haven't given it really a listen, but the name, bro, like the name of the song, I think it goes along very nicely with the songs that are in the album. The ones that I've listened to, they go so well. Besides the Java track, I'm like, I'm not sure about this one, but that doesn't mean it's a better album, But I think it's an amazing album for that, Kurhula is the name of the album by Kelvin Momo, which I gave it a bit of a listen. And Momo has like a cult following, as Soul would say. People really enjoy his music. He makes classics, timeless music, and I really enjoy the music, and I just think I need to give him his flowers, and I'm giving him his flowers for even putting on unknown artists and giving them the spotlight to shine. So overall, I'll give you a rating of the album as soon as I listen to the entire body of work. A classic album, in my opinion. The song of the day is When I Die by Murumba Peach, which was released 2022 on the album Kurhula, which means achieve, develop, or prosper. Is it prosper? Yes, prosper. It's on 5 million. I almost said 5 point something. 5 million on Spotify, not of 5 million. I'm so sorry for that. Not of 5 million in Spotify. So I also wanted to talk about, Kodak Black. He was arrested, yesterday. He was arrested for being in possession of cocaine and tampering with evidence. I don't know if he's being released or has been released, but he was reportedly arrested yesterday. I saw that on Shade Room. For those of you what the reference of where I saw the news, I saw that on Shade Room they posted Kodak Black. I don't follow Kodak Black, I don't have him, but I think he has a different level, man. For everything he has a different level. I think that time he was calling champagne, in a funny way. He said it's a champagne. What did he say? What did he call it? I forgot the name of what he called the champagne. I keep on Oh, he said a champagne. He said he drink a champagne. I'm like, champagne? What's a champagne? He says, you drink a champagne? And I'm like, champagne. Kodak is that person. A Honda. He had a Honda. You know, he calls that 100,000 or something. He calls it a Honda. Yeah, I had a Honda on me. And I don't, like, most of the time, like, a lot of people, I also don't hear, like, most of the things that Kodak Black is saying. And I'm like, man, Kodak Black, man, I hardly hear you on half of the things that she's saying. One of the things that I saw that I found funny, references Billboard, I saw, it's funny. 50 Cent pledged to donate the proceeds of the Diddy documentary should it come out. I don't know if he's working on it or he's just clowning, because 50 Cent, in my opinion, is the biggest internet troll. And his show Power came to rise or to be what it is today because he clowned. And I was listening to the guy, Tariq. I don't know his real name. I forgot his real name. Tariq, you might know him from Power. For those of you who've watched Power, Ghost and more Tommy Egan. If you've watched the Power, you'd know what I'm talking about. He was telling a story. He was saying, I'm going to clown those guys to a point where I clown their show and put it in the same scale, and people will start debating as to which show is better. And he got into people, like into people's head, and people from that other show were thinking, because I think Empire at the time was big. You know, he got people talking about Power. Because Power at the time, it was big. People was talking about Empire. So Empire is big at the time. And he spoke about Empire and trolling it and saying Gucci Power is the better version. He got to people's, trolling people like Maria. It was like Maria J. Blige. Maria J. Blige. Is it J. Blige? Maria J. Blige. Is it Maria? Mary J. Blige. Ooh, Mary J. Blige, yes. So he was trolling them, and people started to have Power as part of their conversations. That's how it started, That's how it started, the conversation. And people, that's how it came to start into fame, according to Tariq. Because he also had a podcast. That's why he was giving 50 flowers to say, this man is a genius for doing that, So shout out to 50. And should that come out, it's gonna be fire. It's finna be fire. Americans, but they say it's finna be fire, So shout out to him if that comes out. I just hope he's not trolling. Talking about trolling, A$AP Rocky was being interviewed. On the background, we heard Rihanna laughing, and he was like, hey, wait. Who's making my lady laugh? He was asking who's making my lady laugh. He's like, do you hear that? Wow, I wonder what that is. And I'm like, ooh, Rock out here being overprotective for it. But Rihanna is hot, guys. They hit the jackpot. He hit the jackpot for sure. So on other news, I'd like to pass my congratulations to Vibe Group Deep. He just bought a 2 Series white one. The boy is working hard, man. The boy is working hard. He's all grown now. He's tall, and I'm like, yeah, man. And I just hope sometimes we see all these people buy all these cars, or they lease them, or whatever they do. And we're like, yeah, congratulations. And I just hope, as much as he's buying those cars, there's people who are advisors of him, to say, use your money wisely. Put your money there, take it out of there, put it there. Financial advisors are very important for wealth building. If you want to build a wall, to be here, to build, old money, to move from new money to old money. You need those kind of people. You need those kind of relationships to build yourself up and be that person who will be rich forever. People like Jay-Z, they do have those people who do that for them. I think it's high time now that we also do that, because now Piano, the artist, the Piano has made so many millionaires in our country, and I just hope as much as it's making millionaires, it also maintains some or keeps some, and they can also groom some to be, better financial literate, meaning the artist. And speaking about him, man, I think, all congratulations to the new car, the new series, Moving right along, Cameron is shooting his shots after Nian Long was separated. And this thing about, like, these guys, man. Even J. Cole, I think he was saying Obuti a song, he had a song where he mentioned Nia Long and Aliyah, you know. Matesa couldn't take Aliyah home, and Nessa could take Nia Long. He had a line like that, J. Cole, I think. I don't remember. That's why I'm mumbling. I don't remember the song. But every artist is like, you know, Nia Long. I'm like, what's up with Nia Long? Does he have that Erika Badu Shandies? Yeah? Does he have that Erika Badu? But everybody's talking about it, and like, everybody's shooting a shot. I'm sure she's a good person, and people wouldn't want you because of that. You know, she just separated, and she came from saying, "Gucci, I was shooting my shots with her." So yeah, man. I wanna before we go on to the ad break, I did shout out for those of you who haven't listened to Momo's album Kurhula. It's out. The name Kurhula means peace in Chitsonga, and Momo is Tsonga. I didn't know that. I had a friend by the name of Tato who actually told me, "Gucci, Momo is Tsonga," and he used to live in Shawela. After Shawela, they moved to Tuwaiti City, where I'm from, you know. And good to also see because he's representing his people, you know, his tribe, you know. It's good to represent, you know. I know even Drake is a big fan of Momo, so it is what it is. Song of the day is When I Die by Murumba Pitch. The song was released 2022 in the album called Haruma. Is it Haruma? Harama. Yeah, Horama. I'm sorry. Horama, Harama. So the name of the album is Horama, which was released 2022, and the song When I Die was a part of those lead singles. Was it a single? No, it's not a single. It's a part of the LP, and currently it's at 5 million on Spotify. I wonder how many listeners they have on Spotify, because Marumba Peach, they also had a good year, man. These guys are amazing. The songs they pull out, they're amazing. Shout out to Marumba Peach, by the way. So they do have the song of the day. Shout out to them. Let's meet after the break. I'm your host, the Support AM Daddy Waddy Pod, aka Shoot Your Shot. Let's meet after the break. Cheers. Welcome back to Backroom Convos. I'm your host, the Suffer AM Daddy Waddy Pod, aka Shoot Your Shot, and maybe you might get a chance to call me Daddy Carlo. I'm your host, the Suffer AM Daddy Waddy Pod. You know what I mean? If you are a fan of pod, stay tuned, man, because you might like what we're cooking. Some of the days When I Die by Urumba Peach on the album that was released 2022, Horama. The name of the song in that album is When I Die, which currently says at 5 million. At 6 minutes 8 seconds was wrong on Spotify. These guys surveyed a brilliant here. For those of you who just joined us, we were not reviewing, but giving you my opinion on what I think of Kurhula, which is Kelvin Momo's album. The name Kurhula, meaning peace in English. In the only languages, it means Uktura. In Setswana, Sesotho, it means hot, you know. So it's an amazing album, laid back, you know. What you would need from an album, you know, there's a lot of things that are happening in the piano space. Everybody is trying to make a December song, and Momo just came out with this classic album and released it to the people. That's how I said before in the first segment. I said I wasn't sure about track 2, which featured Java. The name of the song is Utando. I'm not sure if it's the right feel for the album, but you know, other than that, I think it's a nice album. I haven't really given it 100% listen. I've listened to like 2 or 3. I'm so sorry for that. Or 3 songs on the album. So I am still to give it time and listen to it and hear where is it taking me. But I can tell the vibe is there. Long trip vibe. That late night session, you know, and I think Momo hit the spot with this one. He makes timeless music, you know. The albums are timeless. The albums that he released are timeless, you know. Shout out to him as well for, you know, plugging on unknown artists. Shout out to Sticks, who was also featured on the album. He's the most featured artist on the album, you know. Almost like the entire album, Sticks is featured on those tracks, you know. I think I also need to shout out Nia Pell, people like Baba Lua, who were also featured. J-Sex was also featured, of course. You know, of course he's featured because, you know, I think with the for now, for now, for now. Yeah, they killed it with Momo. J6 killed that song. Iqiniso and Amano Bola and Prokomela. Those are the three songs Sailoring they didn't have, any new artists besides Sticks. Sticks is of course a part of those three songs. Other than that, it's all like veterans or alumni like Baba Mania Pale and J6, or including Java as well, if you may, Track 3, I'm not sure about track 3. 1C, I think the name of the track 3 is 1C, and everybody had it on their statuses. I did say one of my childhood friends was posting that on social media saying, this is the song. Someone was posting again, I think the Java track. I think Jovis also was posting. These are like random people that I'm mentioning. You don't even know them, but I'm just saying, those are like the people who gave the album an early listen. Like in the morning, like I'm talking 5-6 people were like posting already. Yeah, this is the song of, shout out to Momo for that. And I did touch, for those of you, I did touch on the Kodak Black issue that Kodak was arrested for drug possession and tampering with evidence. And for those of you who also didn't catch the headline on 50 Cent, 50 Cent pledged a donation. He pledged to donate the proceeds from the Diddy documentary to all the victims of sexual assault. This is alleged. I don't know if it's true or if 50 was clowning, but that happened. We also covered how A$AP Rocky was jealous of Rihanna when he had a laughter of Rihanna on the background. I think a guy was making him laugh, and he was like, oh. We spoke about Vicro Deep as well. He just bought a white 2 Series BMW. Shout out to him, hard work. We spoke about Cameron and Nia Long. Cameron Shuji Sword or Nia Long and J. Cole and all these other artists. I think Kendrick is also a part of those artists who spoke about Nia Long and his work. And, shout outs. Now that we got back, man. I want us to talk about Lupita Nyong'o. Lupita. Is it Lupita? Lupita Nyong'o. I wonder what that means. Lupita Nyong'o. So Joshua, Lupita Nyong'o, this is apparent. It's not true. They haven't confirmed. Both parties haven't confirmed, but they were spotted holding hands. They were spotted holding hands with the guy by the name of Joshua Jackson, who is a Canadian actor who played numerous roles. For those of you, and fun fact about him. Before dating Lupita Nyong'o, he was dating another black woman, and I'm like, what's going on? This guy and black women, he likes black women, and he's about 45 years of age. He's from Vancouver, Canada. And obviously with the previous wife, he has one kid with that previous wife. And they were spotted during the week. Is it day before yesterday. They were spotted, and Lupita was wearing black trousers and a t-shirt that's written it's okay to cry. And they were holding hands like they were dating. So it's all alleged, and everybody's going crazy over this on social media. I see IOL is covering this. I see Yahoo is covering this. The Daily Mail is covering this. TMZ has covered this. So, I guess we'll just wait for them to actually confirm whether this is true or not. But we can already tell these two, you can't hold their hand with someone you're not dating, like how they were holding hands. You can tell these people are in a relationship. These are some of like the movies and TV shows that the guy has been on. For those of you who don't know Joshua Jackson, he's been a part of the Dawson Creek, which was a show that premiered 1999 to 2003, and Fringe came out 2008 to 2013. Dr. Death came out 2021. Fatal Attraction 2023. If you know Fatal Attraction, I think all of you who are a fan of this show, I've had people who are fan of this fan saying good things about this show. He's also a part of that as well. He was also a part of the Mighty Ducks in 1992. He was also in The Affair from 2014 to 2019. That's just to give you a nutshell or like a bit of knowledge as to who Joshua Jackson is. And from what I see, he does love black women. Shout out to them, man. I just hope we will see their relationship works out with Lupita Nyong'o. For those of you who don't know Lupita Nyong'o is that girl who was in what you call Black Panther. You might know her for Black Panther. Oh, I don't know if there's any other roles that you guys may know him from, but I know a lot of people. If you look at Black Panther, he was a soldier in Black Panther. One of the soldiers there in Black Panther was Lupita Nyong'o. And, Michael B. Jordan speaks highly of her and acting skills. And there was a movie that she released once. I don't know if it's last year or year before that, where she released the movie and people were like, oh, the acting is poor and what. They didn't put in effort in. They were saying that, but, she never failed. She still delivered on the work, So yeah, so for those of you who don't really know who Lupita Nyong'o, I suggest you go to. You remember the Will Smith slap on the Oscar night? Lupita Nyong'o is the girl that was behind Will Smith when he was facing the stage, and when Will Smith was saying, "Keep my name out of your fucking mouth," that girl who was sitting behind Will Smith, that's Lupita Nyong'o. Just go on the internet and say, Will Smith slap. I'm sure you'll get it. The girl sitting behind, you'll see. That's Lupita Nyong'o. And Funny Marco, he's an amazing comedian. Very funny. I think the style of the podcast that he does it's funny. Because there's also another lady, I forgot her name as well, but he also does the same thing as him, as Funny Marco. So they were in an interview with Blueface, and Blueface walked out of the interview when he was being interviewed by Funny Marco, because Funny Marco didn't know any 3 songs of Blueface, and I think Blueface was triggered by that, and he just stood up and left the studio without saying anything. And I'm like, I wouldn't blame him, but as someone who's an interviewer, not an interviewee, as an interviewer, you need to know, research, know about this person. I get it's different generation, but the only thing we can do there is just to research. When questions like these arise and you don't have answers, it's just unprofessional to have someone who's your guest on the show and they leave because you didn't do your due diligence and actually going out there and finding out about the songs they did, the collaborations they did. And Funny Marco never did all of that, and Blueface just stood up and left, And I'm like, I myself for sure don't know like any 3 Blueface songs. I can tell you of Tatiana and all these other songs. Hey, I don't know any other Blueface song. And someone was saying, actually it's Funny Marco was saying Tatiana featuring Cardi B. He was, because we all know Tatiana, pass down Tatiana. I wanna see you pass down. So we all know of that song. I don't know any other song by Blueface besides Tatiana. So yeah, shout out to Doja Cat. She had a sit down with Ice Spice. They chopped it up. I think they're in the same circle. They're friends. They were interviewing one another. They were just talking. And one of the questions Doja Cat asked one of the questions that Doja Cat asked Ice Spice was, who's your crush? And Ice Spice was like, oh, this guy has been my childhood crush, and I met him at the Met Gala. And surprisingly, I don't know if it's surprising at this point, but Usher is, the man. Usher is the man. He's like, yeah, Usher has been my crush since I was very young. And Doja Cat was like, oh, that man is so fine. And I remember when he was saying that, I remember just going to one Akiri, whose name? Usher, the residency. Yeah, the 2-year residency in Vegas, but now it came to an end. So Doja was one of the people that he was dancing for in Vegas. It took me to that moment when he was dancing for Doja, and I was like, Doja, I don't know, like Doja Cat as well. Shout out to the show, by the way, whatever they were doing. They shout out to also Zakes and Nandi, because they were also interviewing one another. They had an Apple deal, I think, something where Nandi was interviewing Zakes about the album or song that he just released, and Nandi was interviewing him. I don't know if that's an ongoing thing, it's a deal or podcast. I don't know what's going on there, but just go out and check it out. It's on Apple. And Doja Cat is also on Apple. You should go out and check that. I think it's an interesting interview that Ice Spice and Doja Cat had. You should go out and check that out. Limpopo, the N1 was blocked today by police, and cars were being blocked because Sangoma's traditional doctors were there. For those of you who don't know, like traditional doctors in the N1 to Limpopo, they were on the freeway, which was blocked, and everybody was there praying. The cops actually were a part of it. If for those of you that don't, some of the people were offended, and there was a lot of questions around that. They would say, if it was pastors, if it was, there was just politics that even came with that. And I was like, oh, this is new. Well, didn't know, but I think it's new. And all the prayers were going on. In people were being burnt, incense were being burnt on the road, and prayers were going on, and police were like telling all the people who were driving cars. I don't know what he was saying, but I knew Gucci was talking to the people who were driving cars. Gucci, guys, this is what's going on, And the final story of the day that I wanted to touch on, which happened on the 1st of December, a group of 20 kids which were being kidnapped, and they were in a bus from PTA to Cape Town. So in Kimberley, they made a quick stop, and someone kind of spotted Gucci, like there's something going on, and reported to the police, and police came, and they captured those guys, and those kids were safe. They were saying, Gucci, those kids were hungry, they couldn't talk, they couldn't. And I'm like, guys, as much as it's December 2000, please be safe, guys. Pray, go home, tell everybody, share the location, do all the necessities to make sure, Gucci, people know where you are, your family know where you are, your friends know where you are. Report, send them links, pictures of what you're addressing, because it's not safe. If they found 20 kids, surely they were going to be exported to other countries if they got to Cape Town, and luckily it never happened. And there were two arrests that were made, which are like two Zimbabwean couples. I know what you're thinking. These Zimbabweans, it's politics. I mean, like, it is what it is. Our system is so broken, and this is happening. There's nothing we actually can do at this point. And let's just hope these elections will help solve these problems that we have in our country. And I still say corruption is the biggest fact. If we can fix corruption in this country, every other thing will fall in place, man. So the book of the day is by Oprah Winfrey. I know for the past 2 days we've been having Oprah, but all those books were collaborations, that she did. Oprah, I know, like, at some point we had Built the Life That You Want, which also had Arthur C. Bronx and Oprah. We had What Happened to You, which also had Oprah. I think it had Oprah. I don't remember the second guy. I think the second guy was, let me just check for you. The second guy was Bruce Perry. Bruce Perry was also the second guy. So today there's also an Oprah book as well. I think for the entire week we've been doing Oprah books. So today it's no different than the other days. So the book of today is What I Know for Sure by Oprah Winfrey, which is or falls under the biography category, which was released in 2nd September 2014 by Oprah Winfrey. The book currently on Take a Lot is 5 out of 5. People like it on Google. Google users ranked it 93%. 93% liked it on Google. On Goodreads, they ranked it 4.1, which is a good rating out of 5. On Blinkist, they ranked it 4.3 out of 5, which is a good book. It's a good book. And shout out to Oprah, man, and all the beautiful things he's doing around the world, the books and donating the schools, shout out to her for that, man. And at some point I wanted to talk about Naomi Campbell, but we don't have time. For those of you who just joined us, I'm your host, the Super M, Daddy Waddy Pod, aka Shoot Your Shot, and maybe you might get a chance to call me Daddy Live. Please do not forget to follow, like, subscribe, and comment to get a notification for each time we drop a new episode. The song of the day is Wena Dali by Morumba Peach, which was released 2022 and currently sits at 5 million on Spotify. North of 5 million on Spotify. For those of you who haven't listened to the Momo album, please go out and listen to that album. That man did a masterpiece, a classic. And if you disagree, please let me know in the comment section, and we'll make sure to get back to you with our input on whatever you have on the table. So the name of the album by Momo, it's Kurhula, which means peace, Ukuthula in Guni languages, and in Sotho, Tswana, and Sepedi, Kgotso. It is the name of the album, and shout out to him. The name Kurhula, it's I almost said Xhosa weight, but it's a what you call this Tsonga weight. Kelvin Momo is Tsonga. Kelvin Momo is Tsonga, so it's a Tsonga name, so it means peace in English. Thank you for joining me and being with me for the past 34 minutes of this podcast, man. I really enjoyed this week. You have for yourselves a lovely weekend. For those of you who are going to Hey Neighbor tomorrow, man, please do share your experience on Hey Neighbor. I don't have tickets. I know some people will be sharing the tickets, but I can't make it, but all the best to the people who are going there. And this is a Momo and Kendrick weekend, so yeah, man, do enjoy your weekend and stay safe, man. I'm your host, Lesotho M, Daddy Waddy Pod, aka Future Shot, and maybe you might get a chance to call me Daddy like Carol. Let's meet again on another exciting episode of Backroom Convos with Lesotho M. Cheers.